Hey Facebook, it's me, Brittany. If you're new here, I'm gonna have to catch you up. If you see the title up there, please say hi when you jump in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I am gonna give a little backstory just in case people haven't heard this live before, but I know so many of you have been kind of a part of this whole thing with me, and I'm gonna try to not cry. But I just got a phone call. Many of you know that I am a convicted felon, was, which I can't even, it's so very fresh, like within an hour fresh, because of my drug addiction, you know, an IV heroin user over 14 years ago. I went really hard and I was arrested. A lot of my charges were felony thefts and forgeries. There were 7 felony convictions in total. And they have, you know, and I've been clean now. You know, I got clean over 10 years ago. And that was, you know, the biggest. It was very hard. I could never get an expungement for a long time because I had more than one felony. It stopped me from so many things, you know, as far as living in nice neighborhoods, as far as, you know, leading field trips for my children. And I could think of so many things, like, and then what brought me into network marketing was, again, being declined for a job because I had these old felonies. And, you know, most recently they changed the law in Ohio, and we went to try to get it, and this was probably within the last 4 or 5 months, and they said that I was not going to be able to do it because I had over 5 felonies, and that was kind of the cutoff, which meant I wasn't going to be able to go to Canada. And I did a live about that a few months ago, and I was really upset, but I ended it by saying I was not going to give up. But I was upset, and this is probably, I can't think of anything right now that I have identified myself as a convicted felon my entire life, adult life. I've had to put it down on so many things. And I remember being so scared to share it when I joined this company that I'm with, that I was a convicted felon. And I remember people making jokes about it, saying nasty things. Very few. Most people were supportive, but I do remember my upline's team name's Fancy Fingers, and someone made a Team Fancy Felon jokes, and it's always been a source of shame and pain for me. But I tried to get past it. It made things a lot harder, but I always tried to, like, find, you know, another way. And that's just kind of how. So when I got the news that the 5 felony rules, I was like, I have to find another way. And you know, I reached out to a bunch of different people, and he's like, there's different things that we can try. And there, you know, I'm not a lawyer, but the way they were able to kind of lump the 7 into, even though the 5 was because like they were all like within the same time frame. And then also there's something called Marcy's Law in Ohio, where they're able to take the victims of my crimes into consideration. And the victims of my crimes were, some of them were my parents. So I stole from my parents, and they were so worried that they thought I was going to die. And so they called the police. And that was kind of the start of that. And, you know, and they thought that would, me getting on probation or whatever, help me stay clean. And, you know, when you're using, you don't think of that. And I called my mom first. I called my mom before I got live, and she was crying. And she just said that, you know, that it made me think of back then, because she said that, you know, when they decided to press charges, she apologized. She said, I didn't think how hard it would make your life be. I just wanted my daughter to stay alive. So I am so grateful for that whole path, you know, the whole path, even though it's been a source of pain and shame, but like sometimes we have to go through those things, and I knew I wasn't going to let that give up. So it, like, as of today, I no longer have to recognize or like I tell anybody about it. I never have to say that I'm a convicted felon because I'm not a convicted felon. She said I'll get a letter in the mail, but I went to the website and nothing, no criminal felony charges came up, and it's so hard to process. I was thinking of things I can do. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go to the shooting range because I can't, as a convicted felon, you can't own a gun. There's just, I'm like, I am just still really in shock, but I did feel like you guys have been like such a part of my journey, and I, have always wanted to be open, that I wanted to share it here too. But I can't think of any, and I've had so many blessings from being clean, and though it's been hard, and like my children, but I think like this was something that was all like a really big source of feeling hopeless. And I've had a lot of times where I wanted to give up, and there was times where I felt like I did give up. So being able to say, June 11th, 2020, no one will know that I was a felon unless I tell them to, unless it's my choice. And that was just from, being able, and of course I had to be able to hire an attorney, which is something I would never be able to do in the past, and kind of look for those resources. But it was just a big reminder on, not to give up on myself. And I know sometimes it's really hard to not give up on yourself, and like that your past doesn't have to define you. My past doesn't define me, like, at all. And it's my choice now whether I choose to share it. And I do like to share things because, no one can hold it against me, but it's not me anymore, it's not. And so I'm so like literally like, I wasn't expecting the phone call at all. I thought it was a number calling to make a doctor's appointment, and she just like, I was like, wait, what? And like just being able to log on to Franklin County's case information and pull up my name, and instead of seeing like doom 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 like it used to be like crazy, like it's nothing there except for like custody stuff, like no criminal charges. I no longer have to say I'm a felon anymore. And that I never thought that would happen. So, thank you so much. I wanted to update you guys, and also like just know that that's been my truth. And I'm not ashamed of it, and it's always going to be a part of my story. And I think that it's a huge, huge part of my story. But everything I did everything that I've accomplished so far was with those charges, but now there's certain things I can do, which makes me excited as far as like, going on field trips and stuff. And like I said, I can go to the shooting range if I wanted to, which is just funny. I don't know why I thought of that. What else can people do? We're allowed to vote here in Ohio, so I was always able to vote. But now I can vote in all 50 states if I move. I can go to Canada, which was a big thing. I wasn't able to take an Alaskan cruise. But the big thing was that, my mindset is not like looking at what I couldn't do. I just always try to find a way of what I could do. And I think this was a big part of it, and that, there's always a way. And I did, and I remember that live a few months ago, I was like, I am going to keep trying no matter what. I'm going to keep trying, even if I had to die with those on my record. I just wanted to, at least knew that I tried, and it happened. It happened. So I'm going to jump off here, but I just wanted to share. Thank you all so much for jumping on. I really hope you guys, have a great day. I don't know if you can have a good as day as I am. Like I'm literally, I don't think it's sunk in yet, but thanks so much for being here every step of the way. Bye.